there. Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Hey, Herd.
What is up, Herd?
How's it going?
So, we are talking about season 2 of Andor, episode 1, 2, and 3.
Beep, 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 beep. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2 and 3 of Andor season 2, we are going to be dropping spoilers. You're going to want to watch the episode before you hang out here and listen to this episode.
And if you don't know what 1, 2, or 3 means, we're also talking about 1 year later, Sangrona Tima, and Harvest. Those are the episode title names. I figured we should probably say those
yes,
too.
that is a good idea. That is a good idea.
And
I mean, that said too, if you haven't watched season 1, you probably should do that, or at least watch a recap so you know what's going on.
Disney Plus has a really good recap for the first season. That's like 10, 5. We watched it before we.
Oh, was that the recap?
Yeah, that was the recap.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we had the recap on so we could kind of refresh our memory as to what happened.
It's been just a little bit. It's been just a little bit. But oh man, we're excited, and let's get into it.
Yeah. I do also want to throw it out there. At the end of the episode, we will be talking about episode 3. There will be some trigger warnings that we will also announce before we get to that point as well.
Yep.
But that's at the end of the episode.
Yep.
But for now, we're going to talk about the first part of the 3, 1 year later, and a year has gone by in a galaxy far, far away.
Since the one way out, great escape from the prison, the great
that
prison
was like
break,
a year and a half.
And then they dove into the water. And then we see them running across the
But that's a whole nother 6 months. That's like a year and a half. Episode 1 is a whole year.
I know, but that's like where season 1 left us.
No.
Wasn't it?
No, at Marva's.
Oh, no, you're right. That was season 1.
Bricklaying. Remember? He goes back to Ferrex.
Yep, that's true.
Fight the Empire!
Yep. That's right. Okay, so that's where we were when we left season 1.
You got so excited about the prison break.
It's so much fun.
So, a lot has happened in a year in Star Wars.
Ooh.
That was a lot to digest.
Yep.
People are off doing their own things. Denise called it. Mon was at a wedding for her daughter.
Yep.
Do you remember that's how it ended for Mon at the end of season 1?
Right.
Because she was introducing.
She was upset about having to make that introduction because she knew where it was probably going to go.
So I will say that. Okay, I did say we're going to talk about episode 1, but I think this is going to bleed. We're going to bleed all the episodes together because I really want to talk about Mon and this wedding and Perrin specifically.
Yeah, I doubt we're going to be able to go in like episode 1, 2, 3 order. No. We're just going to be talking about them kind of as if it were a movie.
We will be talking about each character's 3 episode, I guess, progression. And I want to talk about Mon. Can we talk about Mon?
Let's absolutely talk about Mon.
Because her and Perrin, I didn't hate Perrin.
Me neither. And last episode, man, neither one of us could stand him. He was so greasy and slimy and icky.
But then I rewatched the show.
And then also the books.
And the books have definitely changed my perception. Well, Mask of Fear has changed my perception on Perrin.
It gave us a new perspective on their relationship.
But at the end of season 1, I think because I was so annoyed with Perrin, I didn't catch this as much. But him and Mon were on the same front that they did not like this idea of introducing their daughter and to the banker's son, and they did not want. Yeah,
I thought he was all for it.
No, I think he didn't like the idea of her marrying young. Also, because we also learned in the books that they both were 14. There was a lot of rough years in the beginning time, and I think because of him kind of showing a little bit of resistance, it wasn't like a whole lot. I think him and Mon not not kindled their
They're
relationship.
reconnected.
Reconnected, yeah.
yeah.
And we're coming together on that front because also in his speeches he talked about please be happy, like
Right.
enjoy your life. Like it's not just this. Like there is so much
Find
more.
joy.
Yeah.
Find fun. Find laughter. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
And we do find out in the books that like Mon and Perrin are good friends.
yes.
Like they have been good friends for a long time. And it seems to be one of those friendships where like even if maybe they're not crazy about each other in the moment, they have each other's back.
Yes.
Like she kind of leans on him for support and things, like emotional support, like when she has just absolutely had it, and he will kind of remind her like have some food, like why don't you sit down and have some tea
And they've always
let's talk.
I feel like he has always had her. Okay, season 1 he did not always have her back.
No.
There was a lot of resistance, but in these first 3 episodes
Yep.
he was supporting her. And
Very much.
in Mon, you could tell Mon's stressed.
Oh man. Yeah.
Daughter's marrying. She's footing the bill for a secret rebellion,
Mm-hmm. She
while
is
working for the government that she's trying to rebel against.
right. She's also, I mean, yeah, marrying off her daughter, which she doesn't want to do.
Man,
Having weird things with her buddy
Tay. Okay,
Tay.
Tay
Is
I don't think we're going to see Tay after episode 3.
oh, I don't either.
Because did you catch who the driver was?
Yeah, that was
Cinta?
Cinta. Yeah.
She's going to unalive him.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's going to be some sort of accidental crash and Tay's going to be gone.
He has gone off the deep end.
The poor dude, like bad investments. His wife is gone. I think he wasn't and then he's seeing his like best friend just throwing
lavish
money,
parties,
throwing money. This girl, their daughter's husband, the banker, got this like rare statue that's like 25,000 years old from
like one of 9.
So no, 12. And it's the 9th one now, back on Chandrilia. It like the time frame, it was back when like the dawn of the Jedi. I looked into it. Like that's how old this statue is.
It's just like they gave it as a gift. Here you go.
Have a gift. And so I think
Luthen escorted it, by the way, which I loved. Okay, I want to talk about Luthen, but I want to get let's finish talking about Mon and Perrin, but then we'll get to Luthen.
But Mon is definitely she's now stressed out about her BFF Tay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luthen,
right?
And then Luthen's breathing down her back because he sees that Tay's gonna be an issue, and she's like, "I got it handled. Leave me alone." So by the end of the 3rd episode, when she just took like 4 shots and went out on the dance floor, I was like,
"Go! You need this.
You need a moment to just let go." Yeah. And you can see too, Perrin, he saw her let go, and you can tell that he was like good.
He was like kind of watching and smiling a little bit, but it was like, for just a second, it was like, yeah, this is a husband watching the wife who he loves very much breathe.
Yeah.
Relax. Yeah. Because, I mean, did you catch the, like, kind of camera distortion, camera shake to throw you off? It was like, the first 3 episodes at least kind of visually keep you off kilter. And it's like Mon gets more and more stressed. The camera angles get a little more wonky, a little more like
not as
I can't focus.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Mon can't focus. And I love that.
Definitely noticed that with Mon's story. And they did feature a lot. Most of episode 1, 2, and 3 I felt was very centered around Mon.
Yeah.
And I think we needed that because I think the next 3 not episodes, but days that we get release date, I think is going to be very heavy into like the actual nitty-gritty of the fighting and the rebellion and getting the people. So we need to see what's going on here to get this funded.
Right.
And it's taking a toll on the financer.
The people who are trying to keep this running they're losing it.
Yeah.
She's one of the most calm, collected people that we see in this universe, and she's losing it. But her whole world feels like it's crashing down from like every side.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. And her daughter's 15, getting married 16. Did you notice? So with Lydia, the braids I felt like were very reminiscent of like Jedi.
Yeah, when
So
they cut the braid.
I think what happened. So all the girls have the two braids.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they got engaged, because one was shorter than the other, I think when they got engaged, they snipped the one,
Oh.
and then when they got married, they snipped the
other
second one.
Okay. And
I
that's to signify like you're
they're
married now.
betrothed,
You're
and now you're married. Yeah,
Yeah.
like this, the whole
progression from like maiden to married.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I also feel like their clothing is very reminiscent too of
It is.
Jedi's.
Yep.
Jedi, not
The
eyes. And especially now more so knowing that that statue
was in the
dates back
temple.
to like
Didn't they say
the
it was
dawn
one
of
the temple?
Dawn of the Jedi. I need to look more into it, but it definitely dates back to
Yeah.
that era,
And I
25,000
mean,
years.
he was saying that it was lost for like forever,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's just hanging out in their house.
But it's so funny because they're not very Jedi though. They're very. So I read more on this Chandrillian. Like they're very hoity-toity and
Oh, that
they're
doesn't shock me. I mean, look
better.
at the wedding they put on.
I think they're better than other people, and like, which makes sense because they do wear a lot of the gold colors. I
Yep.
feel like with the blues, and it's very
Blue
regal
and white and gold and yeah.
very regal, very royal, despite not
Look
being
at my
royal.
wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much.
And we saw Val was there too. I was so glad to see her. She was still like, "Ah, these traditions
I know.
suck."
She is unhappy. And also, she's still having issues with Cinta. I mean,
Well,
like,
they're not together.
Belle
They're broken up.
Oh, are they straight
Did
up
you
broken
not
up?
catch that? Because when she
Well, I
was
remember
there,
she was like, if she wanted to see me, she would. But I thought they were just like having a fight.
No. The scene where I forget the girl's name that helps Luthen. She went in to grab a drink.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, Val asked her, what's our backstory going to be?" She's like, "We don't need one." She's like, "We're
two single
girls." Yeah.
I blew right over that. It didn't even register.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name either, but I really like her.
I can't think of her name either. She's also one of those like pivotal backbones of the rebellion.
Oh,
also.
yeah.
She's the one that's keeping everybody like
connected. She has the comms. Like she's
communicating. Yeah.
She was so stressed when she was there on Chandrilla, and she was like, I can't broadcast. I can't help anybody. I can't do anything. I have to get back to the gallery.
Yeah.
I need serious comms. Because everybody's like, Cassian, anybody heard from Cassian? She's like, I don't know. I'm stuck here at a wedding.
I can't like blend my signals in with other signals like I can do on Coruscant because there's not much going on here.
And there's blockades. So I mean, like, she's
Yeah.
like, oh god, you can just almost see the relief when she got to walk back into the gallery. It's like that's her spot. She did not want to be at that wedding.
No. So we talked about Mom, we talked about Perrin, we talked about Lydia. Let's talk about
Luthen.
Okay, Luthen, and then after that, I want to talk about Deidre and Cyril.
Yes, definitely.
Because I want to save Bix and Cassian for last.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
But I want to talk about Luthen. I think that we are supposed to think that remember when Luthen's like, it's a secret. Mom's like, why are you here? And he's like, it's a secret. I think that we are supposed to think the secret is the statue. I think that we are being misled. I think that he's there and the secret was the meeting. I think he is there to pick up what is happening.
I think he was there to survey everything. And you also saw him, I think he was also there to network.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because he was talking about trading on other planets, and I think we already know that he uses his shop as a way to get onto other planets. And I think he was trying to find new ways to get further out and have more reaches in the galaxy.
That would be good too.
And more contacts on those planets that would give him
really helpful.
Reasons to go to that planet or send people on missions to that planet because
right now he doesn't really have any because he doesn't have the connections.
So I think he was trying to build his network out further.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to think it's the statue. I don't think it's actually a statue.
I think it's more.
I think statue's a cover.
He also was definitely watching Mon
Oh,
and Ty.
he was watching them so close.
And I think he knew Ty was like he knew who was going to be there, so I think he wanted to personally be
Yeah.
there and make sure things are okay with because Ty helped them with the foundation and that gave them a way to kind of hide the money and he's Luthen is 120% involved in this thing. He is also looking to protect himself and he wants to make sure all his assets are doing okay, which includes Ty.
Yep.
Tay.
And he can see Tay going off the
Tay is going
deep end.
Oh,
like,
damn, oh, Tai Tai's going bye bye. Damn it. Doesn't work with Tay Tay.
No. No. So he sees him, and like you can see, he starts to watch closer and closer. It's like as the episodes draw to a close, he is almost a shadow. I mean, like he's like looming around a pillar. When she's having that very last conversation with Tay, and then he's immediately at her side.
Well, and
like,
he's
hey,
also like
you gotta handle this.
Almost stopping her from doing like some of these like traditions as part of the wedding, and she's
I
like,
know.
I have to do this speech. I have to be there for this. I have to go and do this.
Right, and he's like, we can't let this sit.
He's like, she's like, I will handle it.
My daughter's getting married.
I also want to say the ceremony, the wedding ceremony, was gorgeous. Like,
Yeah,
and it was really unique. The tradition of blending the houses together.
I loved her clothes. I loved her dress.
Oh, everything.
It was beautiful.
All the costumes were just spectacular.
It was fairly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple, pretty short. I liked, what did they say? Do you see your future before me? Or before you? I really liked that. If they, do you see your future before you? And she says, yes, I see my future before me.
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool.
So it was definitely cool to see all that Chandrillian culture and tradition.
We've never gotten to see that before.
I believe this is the first time we've seen Chandrillia on screen.
Oh, wow.
It's been in books. Also, fun fact, did you know Chandrillia is where, after the Empire is taken down, that's where they host the new, like, galactic, the New Republic.
Oh, in Chandrilla?
Yeah, not on Coruscant?
No, I thought it was Coruscant.
No. I only know that because of the books I'm reading.
Okay.
And also remember Mon's kind of like the head of the New Republic.
So it would make sense that it would be close to her.
Yeah. So, reading that. Also, fun fact, I heard the funniest saying by Han Solo in those books.
Okay.
He was annoyed, and he turned to this guy that was just agitating him, and he said, "Shut your mustache hole."
Shut your mustache hole. Oh, I love it.
I want that now to be somewhere in Star Wars.
Yep. Shut your mustache hole.
Which, okay, perfect segment to lead into Cyril and Deidre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. This was such a fun. I had no idea. Denise knew. I didn't know.
I knew. Let's talk about Deidre first. Okay, Deidre is taking off planet to this propaganda summit with Krennic.
Yep.
Like, surprisingly, she wants nothing to do with it, but that's because she's still hung up on Axel, which is Luthen.
Yes.
And that whole thing.
And she's like, I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. I don't want to give it up. Let me stay on this project. This is my baby.
But what's the guy's name that she was talking to? I forget that guy's name. But he was like, nothing has come from it. You keep saying you found him and nothing comes up. He's like, take this. Build your way back up.
Yeah.
And she wasn't having it with Krennic.
I can't think of his name either.
I can't think of it either.
The older dude with like sort of wavy hair. Kind of longish
Did he have
hair.
a mustache? I can't remember. I wanted him to have a mustache, but now that I think about it, I don't think he did.
I do not know what the heck his name is.
I don't either.
No.
I'm looking it up. I'm trying to find it.
Okay. So while you're looking that up, though, it was really interesting to see, like, so Krennic's got all these people here, right? And he's gathered them, obviously, to build the Death Star. We don't know, like, in the meta, we don't know that yet. But we know that because we've seen everything. So Dedra doesn't know what this meeting is about. She knows that she's pulled away from her job. She's taken off planet. She's stuck in this room with a bunch of people that she probably doesn't really want to hang out with. And then Krennic. Major Partagas.
He doesn't have a mustache. I wanted him to have a mustache so she could say, "Shut your mustache hole."
Shut your mustache hole is pretty great. That's a pretty great freaking line. But you can see her just like, oh, her gears are just spinning and turning, and like the expression she's making, she is unhappy. She doesn't like where this is going.
She doesn't think this propaganda that they're trying to, the story that they're trying to tell for this planet, actually.
She doesn't think it's gonna work.
Also, another fun fact: that planet, there's like this whole like war on this planet that's in the legends. So people are wondering if we're going to see that on here
good.
too.
What,
I don't know. I don't remember, but
Gorum?
Glorum.
Gorum?
I don't know.
But
But yeah,
Okay,
she
my turn.
wasn't. But she was very straightforward with Krennic, and that was the one scene that we saw Krennic, which I did love how he name dropped Tarkin.
Oh, me too.
And he also, so like, he did not want Tarkin to know about this. Like, this is where
Gorman.
They had the equal eye.
Yeah. That was so funny. Dude, like they like shut everything down and show them a commercial for fabric and silk.
I knew they were going, as soon as I saw this planet, I knew they were going to go with crystals because Krennic is known for his crystal research, which with the Kyber to power the Death Star to make it the ultimate weapon. But like, so I had a feeling that's where it's going, and that also makes me wonder if we're going to also see at some point him with Galen Erso.
We haven't seen him live on screen yet, have we?
We saw him for like, no, he was alive in we saw him in Rogue One. He was working with Krennic. He told Jen, get the Death Star plans.
That's right. Okay. I'm back. That's right. He's still alive. He makes it a little while longer.
He's not dead yet.
This is a little bit hard because now we know how it ends,
which is very unique in itself. But so I knew Krennic was going to talk about crystals and mining, and the fact that he also said, do not tell anybody. Tarkin doesn't know. Like, he specifically named Tarkin, which is funny because Tarkin and Krennic have this history, and there's always
they're
this
like in a competition
power play.
Yep.
So like, this is his play to hold something over Tarkin because eventually Tarkin's gonna take the Death Star from him and man the Death Star, and he's gonna get all.
He's gonna be pissed,
whiny about it.
Yep.
Petty. He does not like Tarkin. So like, I love that they threw that in there.
But it's
and
it was superior. Do not tell anybody. The Emperor will tell them.
I will talk to them directly, and I will let them know.
There's a security breach. The Emperor will be displeased.
And but yeah. So, do you think she is obviously now, I think, going to be a part of this?
Right. She can't say no.
Can she?
I don't think so. I don't think she can tell Krennic like flat out no. And I think that other dude has convinced her. Just take it.
Krennic did seek her out specifically for this.
Yeah, and the Empire doesn't let you just turn down.
No, you do what they tell you.
Yeah,
like, it's not.
I mean, she's in this.
But we also see that because of that, we learned that she grew up. Her parents died when she was very young and grew up in the Empire school. 3. Like, yeah.
She called it a Kinderblock.
Yeah. Very interesting. We learned that while she's having dinner with Cyril and his mother.
Oh my god. I had no idea that Dedra and Cyril were going to be a couple. Like, nope. I remember being mad about the idea last season because I thought they were just going to throw it together for like no good reason. But like, it works.
It works really well.
They're really good. And I love Dedra even more after the dinner that they had with his mom because, oh my god, his mother. If anybody has forgotten his mother.
I don't think anybody has forgotten his mother. She made so many passive-aggressive comments towards both Cyril and Dedra. And I loved when Cyril just got so, like, he was so done and he walked and plopped onto bed.
And you see him just like.
Deidre, like, just looks at the mother and she's like, so this is how it's going to work.
Right, this game is over.
I can make this easy for you if you stop with these comments and adding on anxiety, and I'll make sure he sees you twice a month and that he calls you, but you have to... And it was so, like, it was this instant, she was just like, oh.
It was amazing. It was so good. And, like, she tried to talk somewhere in the middle. She's like, I'm not done. I'm still speaking. You hold on.
And then you can see, like, Cyril comes back and she starts to say something, and then Deidre just gives
Deidre
her
looks at her
that look, and she's just like, oh, yeah, that's nice, son. And
Deidre was just telling me how good you're doing.
And Cyril was like, what did I
and
just...
For the rest of the meal, Mom was nice.
I loved it. So I knew that scene was coming because at Celebration, they had the Andor panel.
Yeah.
And they had them out there, and they talked about, so they sat next to each other, and they kept talking about how there's a lot of awkward stares between the two of them.
Oh, okay.
This weird, like, tension, but it's this creepy, weird goodness, like, which it does describe it. It is kind of creepy.
It's
It
perfect.
is weird, but it's also perfect. And they said there was a lot of staring between the two of them.
Yep.
And they specifically said there's a moment with his mother, and it lived up to the tease that they had. I was surprised they said something about that, because in the trailers, I didn't get anything between the two of them. And so when they
that is surprising that they put it in the panel.
Openly talked about it in the panel with the show writer there.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they also
I haven't had a chance to watch anything.
And they also openly talked about the wedding.
Wow. Okay.
But I think that was because...
No secrets.
Well, okay, because I think that was because they did show the first episode at Celebration to the panel. So
that makes sense.
So I guess people are going to talk about it, so it's not going to be a secret. So
yeah, that totally makes sense.
But they talked about it all weekend. Because then later on the live stage, the two of them were, Cyril and Deidre were up there again talking about it, and it was just so great.
I love it. I didn't.
So great.
Last season, I did not want it to happen. This season, I really love it. It's perfect. It works.
Yeah, they said it's a very unique dynamic between these two people who never really had love in their life.
Right.
A healthy love.
Right.
A normal love. And so
they
it's
don't
the
have
two
good
of
examples.
them. Yeah, they specifically said it's these two people trying to figure it out who don't have examples to follow and finding their own footing to make this work.
Yeah.
And so...
And it's fun. It's nice seeing her be protective of him. Being like... Man, like, she despised him.
She did.
And now she's like, oh,
he
listen,
saved me.
Cyril's mom.
He was my knight in shining armor upon
she was going to be trampled.
She was.
Ooh,
he pulled her into
that was kind of a scary scene. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a whole 180 for them, and very enjoyable.
He just walks in, puts down a suitcase, and half the room goes, "What?" I was one of them.
I know.
What?
You turned and looked at me and was like, "Yeah."
Yep.
Yeah.
Denise sitting right behind me, so it was like every time something big would happen, I'd be like,
"Yeah." That's going on.
It was fun. I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. I don't... Where are we at?
Oh, there's no timer here, is there?
Not on this full screen. Oh, there you go. Okay,
we're still.
Andor and Bix.
Ooh, yes.
The whole Ferrex crew, because there's also Brasso.
Mm-hmm.
Brasso, and there's also B.
Yep.
And
I'm so happy to see B again.
What's the kid's name that left with them too? I don't know why I want to say Will, but it's not Will.
Brown curly hair.
Yeah, the one where we saw him getting friendly with the girl on the planet, and so who said it? Somebody was like, "He's gonna be dead."
Yep, that was Joe.
Joe, you were wrong.
Yep. Because he was like, I promise I won't leave without saying goodbye. And Joe's like, well, he's going to die.
Yeah.
What the heck is his name?
I can't remember his name either. Okay, let me look it up real quick.
So anyway, yeah, we've got these guys.
Willman.
Will.
Okay, I was right.
You were
Will.
calling him Will. You were right. Yeah. I never would have landed on Willman. Ever.
No, but will makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have them.
They got off Herrick safely.
What
They
kind of farm are they in? Because
It
they're
almost seems like a wheat farm, I feel
yeah.
like. But we know there are planets that are like full farming planets,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's an easy way to hide. They talked about being there without visas, but they're able to work, and a lot of the people there
Kind of look
don't
the other
have
way.
visas.
Yeah.
Um,
So they're mechanics. I think they called them toolies.
yeah.
Work with tools. They're mechanics. So they are there fixing silos and just whatever breaks down around the farm, basically to keep it moving. And there we've got Bix, Brasso, Will, B, and
Cassian.
Cassian.
But
Yeah, but
Cassian
Cassian leaves.
is off on a mission.
Yep. Oh, a mission it's like the Murphy's Law
Nothing
of
goes
missions, and it's
right.
also sort of like if you take away the heaviness of it, it's comical how bad it goes.
So let's talk about his mission real quick, though,
Okay.
because that leads into them getting
Yeah.
back with
Yeah, that's true.
Ferrick's crew. Andor has to go steal a ship.
Yep.
It is a Thai. Oh, it's a prototype.
Avenger?
Yeah, something like that. He goes to steal it. I do love the discussion that he has with the girl. She's the employee, the working there.
Yeah.
She was very
Mhm.
nervous about this, and he was just like, she's like, I'm nervous, I'm shaking.
This is like her first time doing something for the Republic, I think, or for the Rebellion, I think.
Yes.
It seemed like it was. Anyway.
Yes, and she was like, I have had fun here. Like, I do know people, and he's like, that's okay, but you're coming home. You're coming home to yourself.
Right.
You're coming home to the rebellion.
And she kept like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I looked at you. Oh, I shouldn't ask questions." And he was like, "You are risking everything. Ask whatever you want." And he eventually like put her at ease, and they were able to talk. And
that's where he came. You are coming home. You become
Yep.
more than your fear
Mm-hmm.
by taking this on, by standing up for what is right, for joining the rebellion,
for being brave,
and
not just sitting down and letting the Empire run over you.
And it's such a shift too for Andor from season 1, where he was a very pessimistic about everything, but now like he has totally taken on that leadership role, and he is being encouraging. There was even a comment he made in there that was taken from that kid's manifesto.
Mimic.
I think it was become more than your fear.
Is that from
Mimic?
Mimic?
I think it is from Mimic, overcoming that, and then because if you're more than your fear, they can't cause you
fear. He was talking about how like the Empire thrives on fear,
and if you
fear
overcome
is
that,
what they work.
Yeah.
What do they have?
Nothing.
They got nothing on you.
Yeah, and so I love that manifesto like resonated in Cassian, and he carries that on to encourage these people to do good, and they are doing the right thing.
Yeah, and to just keep fighting. I loved getting to have that little snippet of Nemec's manifesto because I loved him. Like he was a very short-lived character.
Gone
but he
too
was
soon.
One of my favorites. Just for his idealism, and
So
I really
hopeful.
liked getting to have bits of that manifesto coming back.
Yeah,
and seeing that like he made a difference. He made an impact on people. Cassian has carried those words with him, and now he's giving them new life with someone else. Like, Nemec keeps going.
And then he fails taking the tie.
Oh, spectacularly.
Spectacularly.
It was amazing and glorious. It was like watching, it was like a pinball. But it was a TIE fighter instead of a pinball. And it was just crashing around.
Oh my God.
Room.
Owen said, because I watched it with Owen, and what did he say? It was like, oh my God, he had the perfect analogy for it, and I can't remember.
Call him.
No, I don't know, but he said that scene needs to be in a Lego game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be really fun.
And he was just like, how do you not know how to fly it? And he's like, he's backing into the wall, shooting stuff down. He
doesn't have a clue how to fly it.
Blasting his way out.
Yep. And that is, I loved that that's how he finally resorted to getting out. He was like, I'll just blast the wall.
He pulled a Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm. Like, this doesn't work. I'll make my own.
Stick that lightsaber through, create a hole. That was so great
funny.
opening scene.
Oh, glorious.
To set. which I think is going to be how Cassian's story is going to be throughout the whole show. Is a lot of these like, well, we got. It's almost
Let's figure it out.
It's almost like Han Solo. It's like, oh
Yeah.
well, just kind of go with the
Well,
flow.
we'll figure it out. Yep. Well, this is new. Figure it out.
And so he had to learn how to fly this ship
Oh, he
that
was mad about
had
it too.
no idea how to fly it.
No.
And then at the drop point, his contact was
Yep.
unalived by people who were stranded on this planet
Yep.
that were 2
Marco
days.
was the pilot he was supposed to be meeting to hand off, and they got him. They said he was hostile, and they unalived him.
And these people had 2 days without food. And he was like, how do you know it was 2 days? He's like, well, you weren't here 3 days ago when I left.
Yep, so it must be 2.
This ragtag team
they
of
were
rebels,
a mess.
whatever they were, I don't know what they were.
We might find out at some point what they. Right now, they're a mess.
I don't think we are, if I'm being honest.
I guess yeah, because it'll be
a year
from now.
Yeah, and he got out himself.
Yep.
They tried to pull the ship. And
they
rotate.
I know, so they could use the cannon.
Were ridiculous.
They were like stranded. Like somebody took off with their ship or something, and they were like stranded. And so they captured the one dude who knew how to fly anything, beat the crap out of him, and tied him up inside. And then they all started fighting each other. So then it was like, oh goody, now the pilot's gonna die.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
It was wild. And he was days.
At least another 24 hours.
I mean, and so meanwhile, back in Chandrilla, everyone is losing their minds trying to get a hold of Cassian. Nobody's heard from him. Everybody's freaking out. Nobody knows he's like tied up upside down in a crashed ship.
He's like, yeah, you guys, it's raining. You should probably catch some water.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, huh? Like, what?
Yep. So you see him like at one point he's like drinking water and everybody else is like, complaining.
He's all tied up and he's drinking water out of like a little bowl.
It looks like a frisbee almost, just like an overturned frisbee.
And I was like, oh, Cassian, that was very interesting. I thought it was a very interesting choice that for the show being called Andor, I don't feel like a whole lot of first 3 episodes were focused on Andor.
It wasn't. We bounced around a lot.
Which is fine, because I think Andor at this point is just kind of their, like, go-to guy for, like, missions.
Mm-hmm. Like, you can do this. You're clever. You'll probably come back alive. You go do this.
And we know he's also living on the crop planet with Bix and all them.
Yep.
So he obviously, they keep him there until he needs a mission, then he goes, and then he comes back, and he goes, and he comes back. Because
it's easy to hide there. Or it's supposed to be.
So while this is going on, he's trying to get back to Bix.
Yep.
And he finally gets a hold of Coruscant to find out what's going on. He's like, I need a freighter, or whatever their code word is. Mm-hmm. And he learns at this point that the Imperials are on this planet.
Right.
Because this is a random audit.
He's, I think at this point he's talking to the girl that helps Luthen.
Yes.
The lady with the comms. Yes. And he's like, this isn't even the ship I was trained to fly.
I don't even know how to
he's so mad.
Fly the ship.
Nope. He's so mad.
He was like, you should have told me. It's alright. I'm trying to find her name. It's not. Bella? No. Vel? No. Vel. I'm looking. Oh. Kleya. Keela? Kayla? Clea? That sounds about right. Clea.
Clea or Clea, probably one or the other.
Yeah, that's who it is. Okay.
Yeah. So her, she's like, there's a blockade. You can't talk to anybody. You can't get through.
He's like, screw that. He goes. Yep. There's no stopping it.
You see the look on her face as he like basically hangs up and goes. She's just like,
well, and it makes sense she has that look because she's figured he's like a loose end in her mind. He does this. He's exposable. They could find somebody else to do what he does. Like, he's just a gopher.
Yep.
That's what he is to her. So he's trying to get back. Well, all hell's breaking loose with our Ferrex friends.
Because the Empire has decided it's time to do an inspection.
And it's been 10 years since that planet has last had an inspection.
Yep. So they were not prepared. And when they do
And
inspections, they check for visas.
but they were saying some visas they just turned their head and looked away, and other
Right.
ones they were being
Totally random.
Yep. There was no consistency of who they were essentially targeting.
Yep. It was just, oh, hey, show me. I don't care about the next 30 of you.
Yeah, like it just, and of course the Empire is being the Empire, and they're being total poop heads. They just, yeah.
So this is where we have, like they're starting to talk about like we may have to go. We're gonna have to get you guys out of here. When the inspection time rolls around, like just in case you guys don't have the visas, so we need to hide you somewhere or get you out of here.
And there's like no really way to get off the planet, it seems like, without being noticed. So they did find a place to relocate them, and they
Section
were
800.
800. They were in 600. They were going to send them to another location to have them work there. So it's not like they're moving, and if they get caught, they can be like, or they weren't trying to escape or run, but if they get caught, they'd be like, hey, we're just going over to here
we
to
have
fix
this emergency work order.
Yeah. Because it seemed like they got like the people on the planet do enjoy their company. They kind of have formed this friendship and bond with them. Brazos has his girlfriend, his lady friend.
Yeah. Talia.
They seemed really nice. Will has his little crush.
His girlfriend.
Bix and Andor are close. How close? I'm not sure.
Don't know, but we know that they are
very
tight.
close.
Yes.
But we also knew they have a history together from season 1, because stupid Tim was jealous.
Yep.
Tim or Jim? Tim. It was Tim. Was jealous of Cassian.
But time will tell how close they are, I guess. But yeah, so like they're starting to get really nervous, and then they see a ship. And they see a ship fly over, and it's not one that they think is Cassian. So then the dude who keeps going back and forth between the silo.
Oh, I forget his name.
But he, like, the guy who was kind of their go-between, basically came over and he was like, I got you guys this emergency work order. We're getting really nervous. You guys need to go.
You need to go tonight.
Like, well, he was telling them tomorrow, and then they were talking, and another...
oh, that's right.
They saw something, and they were like, we need to go tonight.
Yeah.
I don't remember what kicked that, though. Because it was like, oh, tomorrow will be fine. We'll leave, first thing in the morning.
And then, I don't remember what it was.
We need to go tonight. I don't know if maybe that was when they had seen that first plant.
No, I think it might have been when they were at the shop getting some food. Because he saw, remember, Will disappeared to go say bye to his girlfriend. I can't remember. There's a lot going on the planet at this time.
There's so much happening.
And while that's going on, trying to figure out when they're going to leave, their officer that's leading this, their lieutenant, is being creepy McCreeperson with Bix.
So here's trigger warnings.
Yes.
I wish, I know Denise brought this up, and I very much wish that there had been a trigger warning for this episode. It would have been nice to go into it knowing.
I'm wondering if Disney has since then put one up, which I could see them doing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of chatter about that online today with the trigger warning. Would have been nice for some people. I actually have been talking to a friend today about it, and she said, I wish it was there. She's like, but I was glad how the outcome came.
Me too. Yep.
She's like, I got a little nervous there, but I was glad.
Really triggering to watch. As a survivor, it's triggering to watch that happen to somebody else. And not like going into it blind. This is like not even a clue. It would have been good to know. But yeah, the outcome.
Bix kicked ass.
Heck yeah, she did, man. Like, she just clobbered him like right upside that head.
Pulled every ounce of like strength from like her inner core to stand up for herself and
she
to
won.
take this guy down. Yeah.
Yep. She won. She took him down.
With that said, it was implied. There was nothing shown. I want to throw that out there if you
Right.
haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to sit through an actual
Yeah,
like a
scene.
yeah, but you do have to sit through like him getting really close,
Yeah.
inner space. I mean, the way he's like almost about to like kiss her.
Yeah.
Like he's like touching her hands, and I mean, like so like that very very close, but she like starts to fight before he ever gets any further. And just clobbers him, man. And he like at one point he threw her so hard into that wall.
God, he did.
Like
I
thought that he might.
I thought she was going to be hurt, and I thought that
Yeah.
was going to be the end of Bex.
Same. I thought that was like he was going to unalive her right then and there.
And she came up. She grabbed the like hammer or axe of some sort.
Some
and
kind of giant heavy tool.
Took him down, and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh man, the way he stumbled out and then their whole room started like laughing and cheering.
Like, oh, thank goodness.
Because he just like stumbles out, falls down the stairs, smacks his head on something else, and then dies. And then our room burst into applause.
You know.
That was pretty funny. All our friends were like laughing and cheering. We're like, yeah, we have the right friends.
Yeah. Down with the Empire. Like, that's what we were all saying at the end of that.
Yep.
But it was like a lot was like that was going on, and then Brazos and Will was trying to escape other stormtroopers because Brazo got taken prisoner at that point.
Brasso was trying to find Will because Will had taken off to go say bye to his girlfriend, and Brasso was like, "Oh my god, we have to leave." And Bix is like, "Will's speeder's gone," and he's like, "Oh!" And he gets on his own and like tries to fly out to get to Will, and he gets caught.
And then they ask for his visa, and he doesn't have his visa. And he's just sitting there like, well, here we are. And so finally, was it the plane? Oh, Andor comes flying in.
Yes, so we see Andor flying in.
Like,
and he comes right in. I mean, blasting. Just comes in like guns blazing.
Literally flying in, shooting at these like stormtroopers. Yep. And gets quite a bit of them. So Brazos is running and Will's running.
Brazo is able to hop back on his bike. And fly, and Will is running, like physically running at this point.
I loved when Andor like shot the silo and all the grain just falls down on the like stormtrooper.
That was great. It was so great. But then Will has left his speeder out in front of their store because his girlfriend is like the storekeeper's
daughter. Yeah.
So they go to the store, right, to inspect. Hey, there's a speeder out here. And then Will is trying to physically run away on foot to get back to Bix. Brasso is trying to get to Will. Then he gets captured. And he ends up on the ground in front of the store with a ring of Empire around him. And he looks at the store. Oh, what is his name? Will's girlfriend's dad. The one who's been helping them. He looks at him and he calls him a traitor.
I think he did that on purpose so he wouldn't get hurt.
I think so too. I think it was to protect him.
He was saving him.
Because you see like a look pass between them, and he has been helping them so much. He was trying to help them escape. I think that was so that the Empire would be like, oh, he thinks he turned him in. Like, okay, yeah, we don't have to worry about this guy.
No. I agree. I think he was trying to protect
Andor with his freaking guns, Brasso's able to get on. Starts to get away.
And then he gets taken. I was not expecting.
I thought it was going to be Will.
The death of Brasso. I was so mad because I loved him in the first season. Me
too.
He was that
I wanted so much of him this season.
He was such an anchor for Bix, for Marva, for B, for Cassian, for Will. Like he was
and
that
you
anchor.
Tell he still was
that
in this
fatherly
new location.
Figure, and
I hate losing him. I hate like when Cassian ran over to him and looks down, and you can see his heart just breaks.
Yeah, he was just like, man, no. And then Bix was trying, and he's like, no, we gotta go because the Empire is coming after them. They gotta get away.
Yep.
Like, luckily they have this shiny new fast ship, but like,
right. So they were able to. They were able to get away, but I know. Where is B? Who's got B now?
He's
Why
with
does...
his girlfriend.
Oh, with Talia.
Yeah.
Right. B is gonna freak out.
That's the second time B's been left behind
I
by
know.
Cassian.
He's gonna freak out, and he's been so excited for Cassian to come back. Of course, I mean, when was Cassian gonna go get him?
Well, after the mission, he was going to go back home.
No, I mean now. Like, when's he gonna go get him now? He's like trying to
Who
escape
knows?
the Empire.
Because especially now with them causing all that commotion on that planet, they just put a target on the planet.
Yeah. And they're gonna be watching. They're gonna be watching
Everything.
hard.
Every ship that comes in and out of that orbit.
Yep.
Every person that comes in and out of that orbit. They're going to set up an outpost and check visas.
Absolutely.
Like, it's...
Yeah. Now, because of all of this, that will no longer be a safe place to hide. But then, I mean, we better see B. We better see B. That better not be the last we see of B. I will riot. I'll have my own riot all by myself.
To see B and K2 interact with each other.
Yeah.
I
think they'll be buddies.
That's what I want to see. I think K2...
I love B so much.
I think B would love K2, but I think K2 would be annoyed as all get out.
K2 is annoyed at everything.
Yes. 100%. Oh, they're coming out with a K2 Lego on August 1st.
I know.
August 1st. Happy birthday to me.
Oh, happy birthday, Denise.
Yeah.
Nice.
I told Matt that's what I want for my birthday. He's like,
rad.
okay, just go to the store on your birthday. Which I always get my birthday off, so I'm going to go first thing in the morning.
Very cool.
Be like, yeah.
Save up some, save up some rewards points or something. And
I'm going to earn a
extra
crap ton this next weekend.
And maybe you'll get a partially free birthday present.
I have already talked to my friend who is manager of one of the stores and said, hey, I want this one and this one and this one and this one and this one.
He's going to set them back for you. Just pick them up this weekend when we go.
I doubt Lego's going to be listening to this, but yes, they are. Well, I don't know. They have to check their inventory and what they're getting on the first. So
see what even lands at the store. But.
Yeah, because I want to have one of the Legos. I want to have Chopper so me and Owen can build it on the second after his surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And so kind of keep Owen distracted from
and
the
something
pain.
That's easy and light to do. Yeah. That'll be fun.
And so, but I'm so excited for that. But that's how it just ends. It ends with them leaving the planet. Brazos died. B is left and abandoned again. And they're flying off.
And the next time we will see them again, it'll be a year from now. So
it'll be 1 year.
You know what? That's a year. He can figure out how to get B in a year. A whole year. Figure it out, Cassian.
Maybe Talia gets off planet.
And takes B. There we go. And then meet up. Yep. B's going to freak out if he doesn't get to see Cassian. Cassian. He's already having a lot of trouble with Cassian.
Yeah.
Being gone. He does not like it.
No. Because that's all he talked about was Cassian's going to be back. Cassian's going to be here tomorrow. Cassian's going to be back.
He comes rolling through whatever, and he looks at Brasso and he's like, hey, I've been waiting. And Brasso says something about, oh, thanks. And he goes, not for you, for Cassian.
But I think talking about Brasso, that I think is going to be the first of many deaths that we're going to see this season.
It's going to be.
I also think I'm making this prediction now of another death. Perrin.
Really?
I think Perrin.
Yeah?
I think Perrin is. The reason why is because I've now read several books that have taken place after, and there's never a mention about Perrin.
Okay,
and so we got to keep up with the continuity of everything.
And this would be the time frame. Yeah.
Especially
when we actually start to like him.
And especially after we know that Mon has always kind of been watched by the Empire.
Right.
For all of her movements.
If she does something to get noticed and they want to send some kind of a message.
Empire's not afraid to use people to get to. I think they would use Perrin.
That does make sense.
And I also think that this may be like of the last time we see Lita.
I think it's Lita.
Lita, the daughter.
Yeah.
Because now she's married.
She's married. She's going to go off with.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see her again.
If we ended up seeing her again, it would probably be a bargaining chip. Like,
Yeah.
we have your daughter. Do
I
what we
just-
say or something.
I don't think we're going to see her. I think
She's just been a plot device.
Yeah, I think he's going to get unalived.
Definitely Tay.
I think Tay.
I think we're going to find out that he died, but I don't think we're going to see it.
I am thinking maybe Deidre
You think?
in over her head with the Empire.
Oh, man, no kidding.
I think.
And she doesn't want to do this thing that
I
they're giving
think
her.
she may be on the chopping block. Who else am I thinking? Well, she is a main character that has been named for the season, but I think it might be at the end.
Yeah. I mean, we know lots of people die.
Mon's not obviously is going to stay alive. Cassian's
Right.
obviously going to stay alive.
Yeah.
I think Luthen might meet his end also.
I think that we would see that towards the end.
Yeah,
He's such a pivotal.
I don't think it's going to be this next. I think by the end of the season,
I think we
Perrin,
probably will
Luthen, Deidre.
I think Luthen's death will probably symbolize him literally giving his everything to the rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want Biggs to survive.
Me too, but I don't know.
I don't know.
She could also be a driving force forward for Cassian with her death. That could be a thing.
Possibly.
I don't know, but I love her. We better see B. Again, that better not be the last time. B.
Yeah, I don't think it's the last time we see B. Because they had those shirts that came out that were official Star Wars Most Wanted droids, and it had K2 and B on it. So maybe
that means they're together.
Yeah, or at least we'll see them a little bit longer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna lose people left and right this season.
Every week we're going to at least lose one.
Yeah.
Every week.
Somebody that we care about.
Yep.
Or
not care about. I think it's going to be on both sides.
Yeah. That would make sense too. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cyril go.
Ooh, I could see it too. But I'm still holding out. I would love a redemption story.
Yeah.
I would love to see him flip. I want him to flip sides.
I don't know if he'll live long enough to flip.
I want to see him flip so bad.
I thought he was going to. I
I
really thought that when we picked this up, we would find out he had flipped.
Yeah, so when I
'Cause the
saw
way it
him
was
and
ending,
Deidre,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, apparently not, because she didn't flip.
But what if something happens with Deidre that causes him to flip?
Maybe like she gets in over her head, right? You're saying that she may meet her end. What if the Empire ends her, and that makes him be like, you have taken everything from
maybe
me.
Here's just a random wild out there theory. So she takes on this job with Tarkin, right?
Yeah.
This propaganda job. Finds out about the Death Star.
Yep.
And she slips by telling Cyril something about this, and he doesn't like the fact that now they're blowing up entire
planets.
Like maybe that's where he draws a line is
maybe.
this planet killer that are some of the propaganda that they're doing.
Right.
Because he also, if you think about it, because back when he was on working for that like security corps, he didn't like the idea that his commanding officer was saying, just make up a story of what something, and because Cyril's very by the books.
Yep.
And maybe he doesn't like the idea of this propaganda being used to get what they want and to cover up what they're actually doing. So maybe that causes him to flip.
That could be too. Because he is very
by the
he
books.
Believes in the truth. He believes in the law, the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I could see him.
I could see that too.
I just want him to flip. I love him.
He's gonna live long enough.
Don't say that. I love Cyril. I know I am one of the few people that love his character, but I need him to stay alive.
I hope for your sake that he stays alive long enough for you to see him
stay alive. So bad.
I will keep my fingers crossed for you.
So mad. But yeah, so next week we have 3 more episodes. We're gonna be at 4 BBY, 4 years before the Battle of Yavin.
No, we'll be at 3. This was 4, wasn't it?
That was 4. This
Yeah,
next one.
Next week will be 3 BBY.
3 BBY for the Battle of Yavin.
Yes.
Also, did you see the Yavin in episode 2? I'm pretty sure that's the planet they were on.
Oh, was it? With the temples?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
that's
I
where
saw
they
the temples and I wondered, but they were
where
there.
They had the.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because that was the only planet they didn't name.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was Yavin.
That would make sense.
I think it was Yavin. But
Yeah. So, tell us what you think now that you have heard our opinions for an hour. Tell us what you thought about the show.
Yes, we'd love to hear.
What are your predictions? Do you agree with ours? Do you think we're wrong? Do you have different ones? Let us know.
So finding the fun from our galaxy to yours.
Oh, the creature that ate the people in the forest. We forgot to talk about that creature. It was just like a scoop. It was like a rhino, and it just like ran in, and it went, and then the people were gone,
and the creature was gone.
and the creature was. They're fast. Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that.
So finding the fun from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Always.